We're live on PM Express tonight. A conversation about the One Constituency, $1 million initiative that was introduced by this government. It was part of their 2016 manifesto. We're going to measure the impact 3 years on. And it's on the back of something that happened in Parliament last week. As the election 2020 inches closer, we have been assessing this particular initiative. The sector minister, Howard Kumsing, last week was in Parliament and announced that at least 6.7 million cedis has been given to each constituency over the last year. Now, he makes the point that across the country, under the $1 million One Constituency initiative, each constituency has at least received 6.7 million cedis. In fact, she argues that there are some constituencies that have more than 6.7 million cedis, but the least each constituency has over the last 1 year is 6.7 million cedis. That in itself has proven very controversial. She cited the Adaklu constituency in particular as one of the constituencies where the 6.7 million cedis has been invested in 12 different projects. Now, that was very specific, and so it allowed journalists to follow up and check. She also hints that the investment is higher in other constituencies, as I've indicated. It says in one particular instance, a constituency has more than 9 million cedis to play with in terms of development in that particular constituency. Now, some minority MPs are disputing the minister's claims, as you can expect. In particular, of course, this was in his constituency, the MP for Adaklu, Mr. Agboja, says he can only confirm 3 of the 12 projects in the minister spoke of in his constituency. So what did we decide to do here on PM Express? This was last week. We commissioned our reporter in the Volta region to go around, particularly in Adaklu, because the minister lists a whole catalog of projects that she says had been executed or are being executed with the 6.7 million. We sent our reporter there to go and verify, because there's a controversy between the MP in the area and what the minister had claimed. We have results from that monitoring that we will share with you exclusively on PM Express tonight. It's the foundation of our conversation, and this year is something that you see us do a lot in an election year. To both sides of the political divide, you make a promise, we will check that. And we're going to do that on this particular score tonight on PM Express. Stay with us. Very fascinating conversation about to ensue. Our reporter has returned, and what he found was that many of the projects the minister says they are doing or have done simply cannot be found. Now, $1 million, one constituency, is one of the key promises the NPP made in the 2016 manifesto. It's central, one of the central things there. It is expected to address critical infrastructure deficit identified by local actors at the constituency level. So this was supposed to be the bottom-up approach, not the other way around. We'll see whether that is what is playing out in reality in some of these constituencies tonight. The key question to ask, 3 years on with an election impending, are we seeing the impact in our constituencies as far as this particular initiative, the One Constituency, $1 million promise and initiative is concerned? Stay with us. You don't want to go anywhere, because we're going to bring you very interesting, in-depth discussion based on evidence that we have independently verified on this particular platform, on this particular show. Details after this break. My guests are seated tonight, and we're going to go into, I'm going to introduce them shortly. But before I do that, I want to take you to Parliament last week, because it's the basis of our conversation tonight on this all-important subject. I'm going to go through for you the list of things that the sector minister had put forward to parliamentarians last week that she claims had been done with the $1 million One Constituency initiative. And this relates to what she said had been done in a place like Adaklu. It's very specific. Sometimes you just have to break things down so you can find them, which is what we've been doing in the last week. Today, we'll tell you what the results are. And so you can understand why Kwame Agboja is my guest tonight. He is the Member of Parliament for Adaklu, and he joins me in the studio. Mr. Agboja, thank you very much for joining us here on PM Express.
Good evening, Evans, and good evening to your cherished viewers.
Also joining me tonight is Ridwan Dauda Abbas. Now, he is the MP Sisala East constituency. I'm grateful that you could join me. Which committee do you serve?
Defense and Interior and Privileges.
Okay, good. I'm happy that you could join us. The other thing about this is the minister says every constituency has received at least 6.7 million CDs. So your constituency must have that amount. To see what the evidence says in your constituency shortly. But let me quickly go through what the minister said in Parliament in terms of Adaklu specifically. The projects she says had been done over the last year. Now, she said 6.7 has been spent. And she goes through a tall list of things. I want to go through for you. It says there's a 10-seater water closet institutional toilets that with mechanized boreholes that had been done, located at Adaklu Amfoya, Adaklu Waya, and Adaklu Ahunda communities. Okay. There's also 3 community-based mechanized solar-powered water systems located at Amuzadeve. I'm sure
Muzadeve.
Okay, good. And other places within the constituency. There's also 2-unit kindergarten classroom block that she says had also been done. 5 mechanized boreholes located at several places in the constituency. Also, she says that the construction of 3-unit classroom block with ancillary facilities at Sofa in the constituency. Construction of 6-unit classroom block with ancillary facilities. Supply of 180 number dual desk, 11 teachers' tables and chairs. Construction of 2 2-seater disability-friendly WC. Construction of 8 mechanized boreholes across Adaklu constituency and 1 equipped ambulance. Okay. So we sent out our reporter to go out there in Adaklu constituency to attempt to verify what the minister had told Parliament last week. This is what Fred Kwame Asare found. Watch.
The team's first point of call was the Adaklu Jakpo community, where a chief's compound was said to be under construction under IPEB. Our findings revealed no such project exists in the community. Neither has the district assembly consulted elders in connection with the construction of a chief's compound. Albert Agbedo is a regent of the community.
We have never heard anything either promising or any project going on as a chief compound at Zakoye. Okay, it's very difficult for us as you are coming, even you come across a river there. During those times, there is no way. So we only seek our health assistance from home. It's a year back before we are now starting a cheap compound at Adaklu Harbour, but not at Zakpo. So we seek our help from there.
The Minister for Special Development Initiatives, Mavis Hawa Kumsen, also listed construction of a solar-powered mechanized water system at Adaklu Davanu, but residents refuted this. They indicated they are yet to witness commencement of construction works on the said water system.
Government be wa echi de definitely solar panel leji the enyana necho
Authorities at the Adaklu Senior High School refused to comment on the claim of construction of a 2-number 20-seater disability-friendly WC toilet. However, JoyNews checks revealed there is no project of that sort ongoing on the campus. Nonetheless, JoyNews can confirm the minister's claim of construction of 10-seater WC institutional toilets with mechanized boreholes in Adaklu Amfwe and Adaklu Waya. The projects, we were told, commenced early 2019 but had stalled due to lack of funds. The team couldn't locate site for the construction of a 2-number 20-seater disability-friendly WC toilet with ancillary facilities at Adaklu Waya. The district chief executive, Fanuel Kede Donko, indicated he was not aware of the existence of some of the projects listed by the minister. He, however, explained the list provided contained some projects the Assembly had submitted to the Coastal Development Authority.
It is true, last week I had a word with a contractor and he told me that he went to the Coastal Development Authority for an award letter to put up a cheese compound at Adaklu, Japo. The contractor is here to visit the district. Then you also talk about a kindergarten block. Yes, it is true. The Coastal Development Authority once again awarded a contract for the construction of a kindergarten block at Adaklu, Wayano. We took the contractors to site last year. We gave the contractors 6 months to complete work, but that has not been done, but work is ongoing. Then there's also a 10-seater WC at Adaklu Amfwe, another 10-seater WC at Adaklu Waya, the district capital, and a 10-seater WC with a mechanized borehole, also ongoing at Adaklu Ahunda, Oji. So far, that is the work ongoing in the district.
How about the WC, disability-friendly WC 20-seater at Adaklu Senior High School?
No, I'm not aware of that project. Yeah.
Have you submitted any such project?
Yes, it is true. We submitted a project like that to the Coastal Development Authorities as far back as 2018.
Okay. Now, coming back to the IPEP projects.
Okay.
The list contains construction of 8-number mechanized boreholes across the Adaklu constituency.
8. Okay.
As this
do you have the name of the communities there?
No, they didn't list the community. They just said 8 across the Adaklu constituency.
Yes.
Are you aware?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's Fanuel Donko Kade, is the DC of Adaklu. He joins us on the line, but I'll go to him shortly on this. But I want to take a quick reaction from the studio on what we just watched there. Mr. Agweda, this is your constituency. Your reaction?
Well, first of all, I think the question I put to the minister was basically to confirm to my people that there's no 1 million that is available which is not being assessed on their behalf. The minister graciously came to Parliament. I drew her attention to the fact that some of the projects she mentioned were not on the ground. I took special exception to the fact that she gave the impression that 6.7 million Ghana cedi was spent in Adaklu on this project. As an architect, I could get the help of others to know the value of what was done. A 6-unit classroom block by Get Fund standard is still being constructed at 500,000 Ghana cedi. There's none of those ongoing. What we're talking about is a kindergarten and ancillary facility, which my Honorable DC confirmed is an ongoing project. And I confirmed to the minister that is true. There's the toilet project in Waya, which you know Waya very well, is ongoing, stalled. The ambulance was given to every constituency. Beyond that, Adaklu Secondary School has got a number of toilet facilities, one done for us recently by an NGO, and the boys' dormitory, for instance, has got 18-unit toilet facility in there. the girls' dormitory will have one. So the one substantive question I put to her is, how do you select this project? Because if you were to select this project in consultation with stakeholders, the MP, the DC, the school, the elders, they would have told you that going back to Adaklu Secondary School to put another toilet facility there wasn't really what they require, because we don't even have water. You've been to Wire. Yeah. If you're building WC with toilet, WC in Adaklu, you should be able to tell whether you are going to get water there. So I thought the minister was probably misled, in a sense that the development authority just submitted something to her and which she ran with. In fact, she confessed that, okay, some of the project may be at different levels of completion. Well, if the project is not started, it's not going to be completed. So I told her I could only identify 3 of the projects out of the 12 on the end. I'm happy your good selves have done, didn't take my word, didn't take the minister's word. We went to the ground. I must commend your network for doing this. I'm sure the day the politician knows that whatever we say will be verified, will be the day Ghana will be a better place, because we'll all be careful what we promised the people.
Honorable Bass, your constituency, did you receive any of this money?
Yeah, the story in my constituency is different. I have a lot of projects, and I'm happy you've gone to Adakula. I pray you go to my place to cross-check. Yeah. But when you go to my place, I have 6 institutional toilets. So if you go to Tumu Secondary Technical, there's 1. You go to Tumu Midwifery, there's 1. You go to Tumu College of Education, there's 1. You go to Walambele, Holy Child, there's 1. 6. I have 6. Then I have small town.
That's completed?
Yes.
And in use?
Yeah, not in use. Yet to be handed over to the institution.
When was it completed?
Some last week I was in the constituency, and 1 in Walambele is done. Yeah, but others, you have to connect this water and the water system to the facility.
But do you have water in your constituency?
Yes, I have water.
You have, you have potable water?
Yeah, we have potable water.
Or you use borehole?
We have potable water. Some of the communities like Walambele, Sake, they have small town water systems, right? But apart from just the institutional toilets, I also have 6 small town water projects. Yes, you go to Nampiye, there's 1. You go to Kroboy, there's 1. You go to Walambele Dabaso, there's 1. 6 of them. So in Sisala East, specifically, we have some of these projects. We are benefiting from some of these projects. Apart from that, we also have dumps in 10 communities. Even though 4 of the contractors are not yet on site. Just last week, 1 came and they're also preparing to go to site. Some of them are using that. If you go to Kulfo, they have their dump they are using. If you go to Dijeng, they have a dump. If you go to Sake, they have a small problem with their dump. But last week, I had a discussion with the consultant and the contractor, and he's back to site to work on that dump.
I see. I'll come to interrogate a bit more of what you say you have there and what the minister had told the parliament. But I want to go back to that. I want to bring in the DC for the area, who is on the telephone line with us right now. Thank you very much, sir, for your time here on PM Express, Mr. Kade.
Thank you very much for the opportunity, sir, and very good evening to you, if you wish. So, and good evening to my MP too.
So let me start off with one curious answer you gave, and I just wanted to explain for me. The minister went...
Your voice is very faint.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
It's a bit... Okay.
Can you hear me? Is it clearer?
Yep.
Okay, good. The minister went to Parliament with a document, and in which she mentioned one of the things that was asked you, that there's a 20-seater disability-friendly WC toilet with ancillary facilities in Wire. And she says these projects are at various stages of completion. When you were asked this particular question, you said you don't know about it. Correct?
Thank you very much, Mr. Evans Mensah, for the opportunity to talk to the good people of Ghana and the good people of Adaklu. It is true. A team of journalists came to the district yesterday, and we had a very fruitful discussion. As part of our IPEP project for the year 2020, we submitted a list of our needs to Coastal Development Authorities, which we also forwarded to the Ministry of Special Development and Initiative. As part of those projects, we submitted 20-seater WC, but I'm told the project is yet to be awarded.
Okay. So,
Yeah. So that
so
project
it's
is yet
that
to be
project.
awarded to a contractor.
So if somebody told you that they've allocated the 6.7 million, that these projects are at various stages of completion, including the 20-seater, what would you say to that?
Evidence, your voice is very faint.
Let me try again. Can we see if we can get him to hear me, if possible? Can you hear me?
Yes, please.
I'm asking you, if somebody told you that they've invested 6.7 million cedis in these projects, and the projects are at various stages of completion, including this 20-seater disability-friendly WC, what will your reaction be to that?
Thank you very much, Mr. Evans Mensah. I would say that for the year 2017, yes, Ministry of Special Development Initiative, through IPEP, that is Infrastructure for Poverty Eradication Program, awarded 10-seater WC for Adaklu Amfwe. There's another 10-seater WC for Adaklu Waya, and another 10-seater WC for Adaklu Ahunda Oji. I must admit, works are ongoing, but the pace is very slow.
Okay.
Yep. Then, the same 2017 to the Ministry of Special Development Initiative again awarded the construction of 3 mechanized boreholes for 3 communities. The communities are Adaklu Amuzudeve, Adaklu Akapukope, and Adaklu Japo. I must admit, so far, it's only Adaklu Amuzudeve, that is between Amuzudeve and Adaklu Bridokope, that the contractor went to drill a borehole, but is yet to fix the pumps for. Good. Then for 2018, we were asked as a district to submit a project to Coastal Development Authorities worth 500,000 Ghana cedis.
Okay.
So we selected a kindergarten block for Adaklu Wayanu, which is ongoing, but that one too, the pace is very slow. We selected the construction and drilling and mechanization of 5-number mechanized boreholes for the following communities. That is Adaklu Patove, Adaklu Gazakope, Adaklu Pechu. Then we also have Dopo. And the 5th community happened to be Adaklu Ihekwe. Indeed, the contractor visited Adaklu Gazakope to also drill, but they are yet to fix a pump and those things. Then we selected Adaklu Pechu too, because in Healthwise we need to put up a cheese compound. So that contract was also awarded. The contract sum for that project, the cheese compound at Adaklu Pechu, happened to be 200,000 Ghana cedis. Okay. The 5 mechanized boreholes total 150,000 cedis, and the kindergarten block at Adaklu Wayanu cost 115,000 Ghana cedis. Good. Therefore, 2019 too, we are asked to submit a list of projects with contract sum should not exceed 500,000 Ghana cedis. So we submitted one number, 3-unit Mrs. Cortes for Adaklu Pechu. Then another 1 number, 3-unit Mrs. Cortes for Adaklu Kojobi. That contract is yet to be awarded to a contractor. That is for 2019 project. Okay. Then in 2020, we sent quite a number of projects to the Coastal Development Authorities. Construction of classroom blocks, this compound with Mrs. Cortes, 20-seater for Adaklu Senior High School, 20-seater WC for Adaklu Senior High School. Yes, the Ministry of Special Development Initiative through IPEP, that Infrastructure for Poverty Eradication Program, are yet to award those projects.
For the 2020?
Yes, for 2020 and 2019,
okay.
To the best of my knowledge.
Okay. Let me ask you then. So
okay.
If you combine all the projects so far from 2018 to date, how much is that roughly in total? The ones that you've been asked to submit and the ones that you know they are currently working on. How much in total will that be?
I would say that for the year 2020, as a district, we submitted projects worth 4 million Ghana cedis.
Okay. Okay. And then, so if you add the 2018 and 2019 to it?
2019, we submitted projects worth 500,000 Ghana cedis. 2018 project worth 500,000 Ghana cedis. But 2017, Mr. Evans Mensah, I will not be in a position to give an amount because
I mean, the ministry themselves have said already that in 2017 there was nothing. So that is clear. So you say,
and mind you, one constituency, one ambulance is part of
it. Yes, and you have one ambulance already.
Yes, please.
Okay, so that is good clarity. Final one before I come to the member of parliament who is here with me. In all the projects that you just mentioned, is any of these projects done and complete and in use?
No. I said it earlier on that the pace of work,
is slow.
I must admit, is very slow.
So none of these projects that we've listed is complete and in use yet?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay,
but they are near completion. That is the 10-seater WC for Wire and Fuen.
So that is the only one that is near completion?
No, 2. That is Amfue and Wire. Okay. You know when the journalists came?
Yes. Actually, we saw the videos. We saw the videos of that. I mean, we saw the tiling parts of it, etc. So interesting. So what's your reaction to that? If the money, if you really calculate it, it's around the same amount the minister put, right?
No,
because it says 4 million they've submitted this year, 5 million in 2019, 500,000 in 2019, 500,000 the year before. So that's like, what, 5 million? And you add the cost of the ambulance, which was what? How much did they peg it at for per ambulance?
$130,000.
So that's what, 600, 700,000 cedis thereabout, true? I mean, so that brings you to, it's shy of 6.7 million.
Well, you see, first of all, good evening to my honorable DC. I see the challenge with the way the minister answered the question is what is generating this. We know. I'm from Adaklu. I know that, and I confirmed in Parliament that I could see an ambulance given to Adaklu, just as everybody have gotten one. So if she talks about it, that is fair. I am aware of the toilet project in Wire, which is not complete. I'm aware of the kindergarten at Wayanu, which work stalled many years ago. How could you begin to say you have spent 6.7 million Ghana cedi? I mean, having a projection as to what you will be doing if you have money is different. Don't forget, our argument has been that you knew you needed to put together a development authority before you spend, yet you committed that you would spend $1 million per constituency from 2017. Then you came out to say that, okay, the development authority never existed in 2017. So you are starting in 2018, thereabout. Yeah. But that still gives us opportunity to spend $3 million. So in the 4th year of your policy implementation, you are unable to show even one complete borehole. You come to Parliament and tell the world that you have spent 6.7 million Ghana cedi in Adaklu. When I go home, what are they supposed to be thinking of me?
And the DC confirms that for the biggest chunk of budget that they present, that's 4 million this year. It says none of that has been.
The minister would have been.
You're right. So I mean, at the DC confirmed, you cannot add that.
No,
you cannot say that is something that you have expended.
Yes, because one of her statements was, and the people are benefiting. In fact, when your colleague Opoku Gakpo interviewed her, she said the people are already enjoying the benefit of $1 million per constituency. Today, at least, we can confirm not even a borehole is being enjoyed by anybody in Adaklu.
But
to project that...
the one closest to completion is the water closet.
How is that going to be completed when there's no water?
Okay.
You see, who doesn't want infrastructure? I would be the first to admit, because there's no reason.
And water is a big deal for Adaklu.
Exactly. So we want the minister to be candid with us. The $1 million per constituency hasn't gotten to us yet. And I'm happy my colleague said that, and it came out in Parliament, that it appears constituencies that belong to NPP, it appears more investment have been to those constituencies. And I remember one of when you were interviewing me, one of my colleagues from Mr. Nyindam did suggest that MPs should go and lobby. And I'm like, I should be told that this is available, or go and talk to the Coastal Development Authority for me to be able to do that. As far as I'm aware, minority MPs have no opportunity to take part in selection or guiding any project under this.
Let me bring in Mr. Bass. What level of involvement did you have in these projects in your constituency, if at all?
When you come to the project, you have constituency-specific projects.
Okay.
For instance, I'm from Sisala East. I should know some of the projects my people need.
Okay.
So, for instance, I'm happy the DC mentioned the 500,000 projects. Yes, when the opportunity was given, I brought in the, Sisala East is the biggest in terms of landmass in the Upper West region. We cover about 26% of the landmass there. And I realized that between the Upper West and Upper East corridor, there's no any police post. So out of that, I said, no, we need to construct a police post.
Out of the
500,000.
Okay.
500,000 in what? Constituency-specific projects.
Yeah.
Quite apart from that, there's another, apart from the district hospital, we have another polyclinic that's in Walambale. And as I said, no, the doctor is having a problem in line with his accommodation. So we decided to put up a doctor's bungalow there. And there's another community that lacks a cheap compound. So out of the 500,000 cities worth projects, I brought 3 projects. That's a cheap compound, a doctor's bungalow, and the police post.
Are these projects being undertaken?
Yes.
Or they're still in the phase on the paper in terms of contract and awarding? The
cheap compound is, everything is done.
Okay, and the post?
Yeah, the doctor's bungalow is at the Linton stage, and the police post to the same.
So you're saying that you had a direct input in deciding or suggesting which projects the money should be used for?
Yes, because that's constituency-specific projects.
Okay. Yes. That's for the 500,000?
Yes, 500,000.
Same as what the DC for Adaklu is telling us, that they also made a proposal.
Yes, that's what I did.
Did you have any input?
Not at all. Not at all. I'm not aware that there has ever been an opportunity for me to select any project. But God willing, as we speak, and I could invite you to Adaklu, as of today, I've got 2 health centers completed through my MP Common Fund without the support of the IPEP project. A third one could be completed by the end of this.
I mean, the MP Common Fund is such a tiny drop in the ocean.
So exactly. And you've been to Adaklu, and I've told you, without...
But I'm curious, how did you manage to do that?
Yes, I would explain to you. We built over 20 school blocks with the help of a wonderful NGO called Pencils of Promise. The only 3 or 4 projects that was funded by Get Fund out of the 20 were the most delayed projects. How did we fund this? MP Common Fund is 4.5% according to the formula we approved in Parliament of the of the Common Fund. So when 100 cedis is given to Adaklu, 4 cedi 50 pesos is taken out and given to the MP as MP constituency project fund. That fund accrues to about 250 to 300,000 depending on the tax revenue, the ruling at court. But the school blocks, we are only supposed to pay 20% of the cost. The NGO pays the rest. So I only go in and pay the 20% on behalf of the community, and the project that should be worth 500,000, maybe we put in maybe 60,000 cedis or so, and it's done. For the CHIPS compound, I basically add we get some money from the health NHIS fund, so I pile them up and then use everything onto that. We haven't finished paying, but the truth is that by the end of this month, we would have had 3 health facilities in towns that didn't have anything, fully built and ready to use. That is in addition to another one. So within the last 8 years, 4 health centers built through MP Common Fund, and another 2 semi-detached bungalows built exactly out of MP Common Fund and nothing else. And I say that if I can do this, if MP can do this from 4.5% of the Common Fund over 8 years, how come government promises $1 million per constituency and can't show a completed borehole? This is the challenge I have with government. If I can do this with MP Common Fund, no extra source of money anywhere, in 8 years, why can't government do a borehole complete in 4 years?
Let me ask the DC who's still with me on the line. Mr. Kidi, do I have you on the line still?
Please.
Do I still have Mr. Kidi?
Yeah, I'm still on the line, sir.
Final question to you.
Okay.
Why have these projects delayed exactly? You say that it's being slow. Why exactly?
Thank you for the opportunity once again. I must admit some of the contractors selected for the project are not up to the task.
Okay.
Because these are projects you have to reach a certain level, raise certificate, then based on that, the Coastal Development Authority will effect payment. So if a contractor, for one or two reasons, is unable to complete work or get to a level, it will be difficult for the contractor to raise a certificate for payment.
Okay. So if I ask you, and I'm sure the people of Adaklu are listening, if I ask you, based on what you know and the challenges that you have in getting the projects to move, what is your best estimate when these projects at least will be completed for people to actually start benefiting? Any idea?
Next week, God's willing, next week, I will be meeting the chief executive of Coastal Development Authority for him to invite the contractors or talk to the contractor to come back to site to complete work for the good people of Adaklu to use.
Okay.
Now that we are in the dry season, water is a challenge. We don't have potable water, so we have to talk to the contractor to come back to site.
Let me ask you this, I said finally, but this is important. Who decided what projects to invest in? Because I asked that, I see that the projects that you say most likely will finish first will be the WC, right? I wonder, and I see if you run through the list, there's a lot of investment in WCs, toilets. If you count, the more investment. Is that what the people really need in terms of priority in Adaklu?
Yes, I would say that we selected most of the projects, all the projects from our medium-term development plan. How do we come about the medium-term development plan? We visit the communities through the unit committee members, the assembly members. They come with the needs of the 91 communities in the Adaklu. Then those needs are compiled.
Okay.
So as and when we have resources, we move to a community to tackle, be it a school,
so I guess my question is,
be it a borehole, and
I guess my question is, out of the list, what was the topmost priority, at least for the most people in Adaklu?
I would say water.
Good. So if that is the topmost priority,
water and the 10-seater WC.
Okay.
Yes, it's also a priority.
So that if water was the topmost priority, why are we not investing to focusing first on solving the water problem before anything else? From what you described and what we saw in the video, it looks like the WCs will be completed first before possibly the mechanized boreholes come. In fact, one of the cases, there was no indication that the mechanized borehole with solar had even been started at all. I mean, so how do you explain that?
Good, thank you very much. Aside the intervention of IPEP, or Ministry of Special Development Initiative, the district assembly itself will use part of our common fund to drill and mechanize 10 boreholes for 10 communities between 2018 and 2019.
Okay.
Good. Then the Community Water and Sanitation Agency too, through the Spanish Water Project, we are providing water for 11 communities in Adaklu, of which my MP is very much aware. Good. So we are doing our best as far as the water station is concerned, and very soon, government or you commence the Adiduma water project. 5 districts will actually benefit, of which Adaklu is also a beneficiary. Okay. So very soon, our cry for water will be a thing of the past. I just want to use this medium to appeal to the good people of Adaklu to continue to have faith in His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana, that we are going to provide potable water to every community in Adaklu.
Okay, I'm grateful, Mr. Kade, for joining me. Donko Kade, there he is the DC for the area. But that is an interesting answer to the question about the priorities. He says water, and I think you've made that point also, that if you finish the WC, you need the water to in your constituency. You mentioned that you already have the water.
Yes, we have
water.
water.
The WTs, you have to just connect,
yes.
and then you run.
Yes, the boreholes were sunk first before the construction.
But it doesn't appear that in Adaklu that has been the approach. Although he says that it's a medium-term development plan that was generated from hearing the people. However, it doesn't appear that in the implementation it has followed.
Evans, Adaklu has got a peculiar problem with water, and you know about
I know, yes.
The number of boreholes that have been drilled in Adaklu over the ages is phenomenal. Sadly, the yields are very poor. Okay. If you go to Adaklu Secondary School, for instance, a number of boreholes have been drilled there. But when you were there, you saw one of the things that drove you to Adaklu was the plight of the kids in the dry season, like this.
Your water table is very
exactly. But my honorable DC is right. There has been 2 major water projects, and when you were there, we mentioned it.
Yes.
The Spanish water project started sometime 2009, but the actual contract, community engagement, everything was awarded in 2017-2018. Sadly, one of the contractors left site once again. It's a donor-funded project, so why should the contractor not be able to finish that? The 5 district water project started some time ago, phase 1 and 2 completed. All we needed was money to do the distribution into Adaklu. It was in abeyance before 2016 election, and we thought that it is the same developer on site. We needed about 11 million euros to be able to distribute it. That is what the hassle is so far, to get 11 million to just complete the phase 3 of the project, which will mean that water will get to Adaklu. And not all communities in Adaklu. They are selected because the alignment of the pipeline goes all the way to Agotime-Ziope. So few communities along the trajectory of the pipeline may get water when the 11 million is secured. Other communities may subsequently, depending on our ability to raise funds to distribute all the way to... so without those 2 projects happening, the perennial problem of water in Adaklu can never be resolved. And no amount of boreholes, either by IPEP or other things, would effectively resolve the issue.
The question about, you've already told me about your involvement in the selection of the projects. But were these projects reflective of what the people really need in your constituency?
Yes, as a member of parliament, most of the time when I'm in the constituency, I go around, I talk with institutions. For instance, when you go to, in terms of education, I have series of meetings with the Ministry of Education, and what they lack is classrooms, furniture. So if you look at the 2020 projects, I have about 3 classrooms I'm building. They are putting up one in,
with your MP's Common Fund?
No, that's under the 2020 IPEP project.
Okay.
Yes, because I went around the constituency, and every village has its own specific problem. You know, so in terms of education, in terms of health, so we are having classroom blocks, we are having cheap compounds, we are having KG blocks, teachers' quarters, and a whole lot. So what I did was that I had a series of meetings with various institutions, with the security agencies. They told me what the problems are. I had meetings with Ministry of Education, Ministry of Health, and they came out with the projects, and we forwarded them for implementation.
I see.
So in 2020, I'm going to have about almost 16 projects.
Under the IPEP?
Yes, 16.
For 2020?
Yes, 16. And just...
well, I mean, the Adaklu DC has just confirmed that they've submitted, projects worth 4 million.
Yes.
For 2020. So I guess it's also huge, if indeed any of those get implemented. But there's a bigger question about, so the government is spending money, right? All the projects that you mentioned, does it amount to 6.7 million? Would you say?
Yeah, I can't give the financials, but I know we have a lot of projects coming up.
Okay.
I can't
how are the people benefiting from this? Is this really benefiting the people?
A lot. When it comes to Sisala East, as I said, the biggest in terms of agric, we are leading. We're the leading maize production and producing constituency in Ghana. We have a lot of animals. We share a boundary with Burkina Faso. And at times, during the dry season, you go to some of the communities, farmers even go to standby boreholes to use their hands to pump for the animals to drink. So what they need is dams. So if the people are there, you could give them a dam, they will be happy. So I think that my people are happy that some of these projects are being implemented in the constituency. So it's working.
Okay. I mean, so we found that in your constituency, the story is not the same. What do you make of his comment about the disparity between MPP MPs and NDC MPs?
Yeah, personally, I don't know his relationship with the the Development Authority. I don't know who's dealing with the Coastal Development Authority. I'm dealing with the Northern Development Authority, and I'm surprised they are even here to award their projects. Yes, because some of us they've awarded our projects.
But you had a direct input in what is done in your. He has nothing.
But most of the time I visit the office. I tell them this.
Have you? I guess that's the point that was making to you. Have you been to the Development Authority for your region?
Well, you see, when we passed the act, we were told that the money was allocated to the constituency. So it is not for MPs to go there and say, what do you have for us? MPs do have demands in terms of we need schools like his. So when the time comes that, okay, we bring 500, bring project worth 500, somebody gave the directive. So for some reason, that directive never got to NDC MPs. That is the point we are trying to make. That doesn't mean that we don't carry out development projects in our area.
This is my curiosity.
Yes.
You're a member of the Assembly.
Yes.
So if the Assembly is submitting projects worth 4 million for this year,
yes,
they should meet to have a conversation. And that's where you get to know about it.
My DC may be right by saying that they just picked some project from the medium-term development projects, but it would have been a good idea if, okay, we selected this project to send to the development authorities, because if that were to be the case, I would have been able to say that, for instance, trying to go and put up another toilet facility at Adaklu Secondary School, we should rather find ways of bringing water there, as you may be aware, because the boys' dormitory alone has got 18 unit toilet facilities in there. We have two existing toilet facilities, one by an NGO and then another one by the GOG in the past. So Adaklu Secondary School's priority today cannot be toilet, has to be water, without a doubt. It used to be water and classrooms. Fortunately, after we did about 12 unit classroom blocks, that need has reduced a bit. So it's about water. So my main reason for telling the minister, how did you select this project, was for her to clarify that these are the ways we can do this. And I feel that if we do that, we can save a lot of money out of the needs that we have. I had situations where communities wrote to me and said that, look, somebody gave us a 1 bedroom to run a cheap compound. The person says, we want the building, they want the building back for their family. They are throwing us out. I have to prioritize that, and if you go to Adaklu, Amuzudeve, that's what it is. We've completed that project now. I'm trying to equip it, and then they can move in. How do you call it? Humanu, the same thing. In fact, the biggest project is actually at Adaklu Have, also completed. I'm saying that it is always about the people, but if we coordinate expenditure, because MP Common Fund is also government money. So if MP is spending the money this way, the IPEP want to spend, then don't spend along the same line, so that we can maximize the efficiency of the little resources we have. That will all be better. It's not about to say that government doesn't have the right to spend money under any program. But when the MP is spending this way, Assembly is spending this way, government should be able to tell which is a priority. And I don't feel, and I say quite boldly, I don't feel Adaklu Secondary School's priority today is a toilet facility.
Are your priorities being met, and what, from your experience, will we need to improve the way the monies are being spent and invested in communities?
Evans, as I mentioned earlier on, as members of parliament, definitely we visit our constituencies most of the time. And when you go around, some of the issues, they don't even need to tell you, you see them. For instance, there's a place called Sumboru I visited the last time. I went, the committee members took me to the school. I saw the students sitting on their shed. Nobody needs to tell me that these people need a school. So what I did was I said, no, we need to give them a school. And if you look at the list I have now, Sumboru is going to get a school. There's another community called Dolubizon. The same problem. They're also going to get a school.
If somebody says to you that you can put that down to the fact that you are an MPP member of parliament, that's why you managed to have all these, what will be your reaction?
As a member of parliament, I visit the office most of the time. I tell them what my problems are.
How long have you been in parliament?
This is my first time in parliament.
Okay, good. So I would have asked you what was the situation when you were, if you were there previously. But isn't that why you are being so successful? At least the way you pitch it, at influencing the process.
Yes, most of the time.
Because you're an MPP.
No, he's also an MP. If he goes to the
because
office,
you're an MPP MP.
I don't think that's just the issue.
You could take this conversation further by sending your cameras to a cross section of the communities again, and even talk to Coastal Development Authority. How come they are able to work more closely with MPP MPs and do more projects in their areas? The minister actually said that the least amount committed or spent is in Adaklu. Adaklu is one of the least.
But there's something else I asked earlier that I guess sort of gives a hint where the problem is. Have you been to the Coastal Development Authority?
No.
But you have to.
No, I don't have to.
But why?
I haven't been to.
It's about lobbying.
No. You see, this would create bigger problem. You see,
what problem would it create?
I haven't been to Ministry of Health, but I built five.
No, I get that, but yes. you imagine what more you could do if you start doing that legwork.
No, if $1 million is available to Adaklu, it is not for Adaklu to go and lobby for anything. No, it's about you telling Adaklu.
It's just about a relationship. You MPs tell us all the time that you facilitate, you lobby.
Yes.
The government says I have a policy for 1 million for your constituency.
But isn't that turning to cronyism and who you know?
No, but you haven't challenged the system enough.
We have.
No, but you haven't been to the authority responsible for distributing or disbursing the funds.
No. Look, when Common Fund gives me 250,000, makes me aware that I have 250,000 Ghana cedi as my MP Common Fund. I've never been to Common Fund.
I understand what you're saying, that the system must work.
Exactly.
But if the system isn't working the way you expect, we all know sometimes you give it a nudge.
I will tell you what the difference is. It's not about lobbying. Common Fund makes the money available to MPs because it's by law. You must make the money available.
And this one?
This one, it is not a statutory fund. So the money, whether the money exists or not, nobody knows. Common Fund.
So find out as a member of parliament.
We did. In fact, this is. In fact, I wouldn't say some of the frustration I had. That is why I
asked that question.
Exactly. Because Common Fund, because I know I have 250,000. When the Assembly is drawing up their medium-term development plan, I just commit the number of projects I needed to do to that. So I don't have to go there, and I don't even have to go to the administrator of Common Fund. But this one, because it's not a statutory fund, and we know the money is not there, they will now have to tell you to go and lobby. And if you go there, okay, you go there now. By this year, has sent projects, 4 million worth of projects. And out of that, not even a borehole is completed.
Yeah.
What difference does it make?
Abbas, you want to say something very quickly?
In terms of lobbying, just last week when I was in the constituency, I got him that some of the projects, there were projects on my list, which I felt I don't need them. So I have to drive all the way from my constituency to Tamale, to the office, to meet them one-on-one.
Who put those projects on your list?
To meet them one-on-one. I told them that, look.
Who put the projects on your list?
What is it? The
DC?
Yes, apart from the projects I gave, there were other projects the development authorities were also
and what happened when you went, when you followed
When I went, I told them that, for instance, between building a classroom in Sumboru and constructing a borehole in Tumutown, I think this classroom is more important than putting up.
So you're influencing that process. You say you're following up.
Yes.
You're saying that your colleague MP from NDC should do so.
Should do same.
Okay. I'm grateful. I mean, it just opens our eye to what is actually happening on the ground. We've been doing a lot of more of this. We're coming to a lot of your constituencies just to. This is about bread and butter this year's election. It's not about who is promising what. It's about what the people are feeling on the ground. I'm grateful again for joining me. I'm grateful for joining me also.
Thanks so much.
This PM Express. More of this in the coming months as we approach elections. Enjoy the rest of your evening.